Welcome everyone to my 50 subscriber special. Today we have a special Intel Xeon build that I'm going to be showing off, specifically thanking you guys for the support. Right now we are at 71 subscribers. A little late on this, but I still wanted to do this video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started into the build. First things first is our Cooler Master Q300L Micro ATX case. Now this case has two cube design filters on top and front, and on the bottom it's all black. The back of the case is an all black design, as well as the inside has all black in it. Now when you get the case, you get one fan on the very left, and CPU coolers with a max height of 159mm can fit inside, as well as GPU cards up to 360mm in length and PSU up to 160mm in length. To maximize your cooling, you could actually add 5 more fans and a liquid cooler. I will link the case in the description so you could see the specifications for that. And here are your ports. You have two USB 3.0 ports, power button, your two jacks for mic and audio, and also your restart button. I bought the motherboard like this in a bundle, already installed RAM, CPU, and a fan. The fan was originally white. I added 2 black fans, and this was a kit from AliExpress, so you will also need a CMOS battery if you're wanting to buy one of these. The CPU is an Intel Xeon E5 2680V4, has 14 cores, 28 threads. It also is on the socket type LGA 2011-3 with third level cache 35 MB and the power consumption being 120 watts. And for our memory, we have Kiita DDR4 32GB of RAM. And I was told the speeds were 3200 megahertz, but I checked back and it said 2400 megahertz. I also can't overclock the motherboard because it requires a flashed BIOS. It actually did take me a while to put in this motherboard just because I was rushing. I was putting in the IO shield the wrong way, and they give you like these screw-in stands, so I didn't put them in at first, so it was only getting held by 2 screws, so then I had to redo it. Here are the holes that I missed. Make sure you're taking your time if you're building a PC. But yeah, I believe there were 6 screw holes that I had to screw in some bolts. Sometimes I just look at these clips I record and I don't even know what I'm doing, but here I'm showing you guys that the CPU connector is connected now. Alright, next our SSD is a Kingspec NX series 512GB Gen 3 NVMe M.2 SSD, and it has 3500 megabytes per second read speed and 3200 megabytes per second write speed. I just removed this screw in order to insert it, and it was a very tight space, so you have to be very careful. All you have to do after that is just plop it down and insert the screw again. After that, we went to install the audio cable, the USB 3.0 cable, and the power LED, power switch, HDD LED, and reset switch. And now for the powerhouse of this PC build, we have the EVGA GeForce GTX 1070. This was actually included with the bundle I got for the CPU, motherboard, and RAM. I actually got 2 GPUs and this was one of them. So this GPU, which came out in 2016, has 8GB of GDDR5 memory, a base clock of 1594 MHz, a boost clock of 1784 MHz, and the recommended PSU for a GTX 1070 is actually 500 watts. So that goes into the next thing I'm about to talk about. We have ourselves an EVGA 750 watt power supply. It's called the 750 G3. It's a 80 plus gold rating. Now this is my first time using this PSU, but from what I'm reading, there's more pros than cons. It's fully modular, highly efficient 80 plus gold rating, and it's very compact, 150mm size. Now we need to disconnect this little slot right here and also those slots with the crosses. We're gonna take 2 off because the GTX 1080 takes 2 of those. Time to just plop in the GPU, and then here I am screwing it back in. And I think I forgot to mention that this does take an 8-pin connector, so you want to go ahead and connect that as well. Now time to connect the CPU connector, and finally the 24-pin connector. It's looking a little rough, but that's okay. To now connect the display cable, the PSU, and the USB drive for Windows. Beautiful first start, but literally no start because the RAM was incorrectly placed. Now I reseated the RAM and it actually did turn on. Now after some tweaks, because the Xeon processor is not on the supported Windows 11 list, I had to do some tweaks, but I got it right. I'm gonna show these because I found out the motherboard did not have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Now I'm super excited for the benchmarks. That's what I've been waiting for this whole video, but I'm gonna show you guys the CPU, the memory, the disk, and the GPU. Alright, first game we have is GTA 5. I actually tried it first on the recommended settings, or the default settings that it gave me. So here are the settings I'm gonna show you real quick. It looked like everything was maxed out. The only thing I did turn off was depth of field and motion blur. When playing with Trevor in this area, I would get high 70s to low 80 FPS marks, and our 1% lows were about 40, low 40s. I didn't really feel any stutters or anything. Our VRAM was good. There would be some spikes here and there in the frame rate, but not really too concerning. Then I switched to Franklin right away because I wanted to see how the FPS was in the city. Now I was surprised because it did a little bit better. It was in the 90s actually, sometimes hitting 100, but it would fluctuate, you know, seeing sometimes 70 to 100 FPS, maybe a little bit more than that. And this is at 1080p resolution. Obviously we're not going to be playing 1440p, but this is a good start for 1080p. But yeah, as you could see, even when speeding, it felt good. The FPS was high up there, almost 100. Now I actually did a mission while playing this, and right here you could actually see it hit the 50s and 60s while driving and doing this mission, but overall it still felt good. I would recommend probably lowering the settings because ultra high may be a little bit too much. Next I went with the high preset, no depth of field, no motion blur as well. With the high preset we got about 20 to 30 FPS more, and it felt smoother low-key. It still looks good. And here's a clip of me driving. As you could see, it's hitting above 100 FPS still. Even was hitting at first 120 plus FPS. Even our 1% lows were a little bit more higher. I even played a mission on these settings too, and this was actually a mission where you had to be shooting, and it was pretty smooth to aim, to be honest. I felt no input delay, no lag, no any of that. Felt smooth, and it's still staying above 120 frames, even seeing sometimes 130 plus FPS. It's even better on these settings because you're not using too much VRAM. It's actually at 5,000 or 5 gigabytes, so that's good. Now next game is Minecraft. I set the render distance to 15 chunks and left everything as is. I think I just turned off camera shake, but yeah, here's the gameplay. Now when playing this, it felt smooth, not buttery smooth compared to like say a 9070 XT or anything like that, but yeah, it was pretty playable. You're getting over 200 FPS with these settings. Also for the VRAM, we're using about 2 gigabytes, so that is no problem. Obviously this is Minecraft. I did end up upping the chunks to 45 chunks, and here is the results. FPS took a massive hit, can't even hit a stable 60 FPS. It was around 40 to 50 FPS. Even on the menu where you're crafting, it was all really just laggy and, you know, delayed. Since that wasn't a playable experience, I went ahead and put everything to the lowest settings. No fancy leaves, no render clouds, no good lighting, and on simple graphics mode. Now what can I say, it ran decent, the best FPS that you could get out of all the settings, over 300 FPS. There was barely any stutters or lag, so that's good. Now here is just the same settings. I just switched the graphics mode to fancy just to see how it would do, and it still maintained over 300 FPS, pretty smooth, and yeah, there's nothing to complain about. So let's go on with the next game. For Kingdom Come Deliverance, we started off with high settings with no motion blur on. Right off the bat, this was getting over 60 FPS, but it was the worst performing game just because look at that frame time. It was stuttering, it felt kind of clunky, and yeah, you could just see it in the gameplay. Now I did search it up, and this is a CPU intensive game, especially in these towns, so I'm not surprised considering this Intel Xeon is not really a gaming PC. It's more for servers or workstations. Okay, so I went out of the town. I was getting a little bit more FPS, about 80 to 90 FPS. Our VRAM was good, about 3 gigabytes, and I did notice after playing for a while that there were some pop-ins in the distance, probably because the Intel Xeon processor is having a hard time, you know, trying to render all that in. Now here's a little foliage / bush test, and yeah, we dropped to 70 FPS just going through this. Time for medium settings, basically everything set to medium, and here are the results. Our FPS did actually go up over 100 FPS. Even in town it slightly did better, but also you still had the stuttering, so I don't know, to me it felt like the same high settings. Last game we have on our hands is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I actually started with recommended settings with depth of field off. Our FPS numbers were pretty decent. We were usually getting over 60 FPS. I would see it drop in the high 50s sometimes. Now for our VRAM, we were hitting almost 5 gigabytes, which was pretty playable experience in my opinion if you just cap it at 60 FPS. Again, now we're switching it to high settings with no depth of field. If you want the best quality, I would recommend high settings. Just cap it at 60 FPS and you will be straight. Now with these settings, you would get about 70 to 90 FPS, which is way better than dropping down to 50 FPS on ultra high. VRAM basically dropped by 1 gigabyte, so now you have more leg space to work with. Lastly, I tried low settings. I did not show the settings. I had to restart the game, and yeah, I forgot to record it. So here we have me just walking. I'm getting about the same FPS, not too much of a difference to be honest. Only thing I saw was the VRAM did go down to 3.6. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a comment and your thoughts about the PC build. I have more PC gaming videos coming soon, and I hope we can reach 100 subs so we could do another one like this. Now leave a like and I'll see you guys in the next video.